I had always been fascinated by the abandoned house on the outskirts of town. It was a grand old mansion with a sprawling garden and a long driveway that led up to the front door. But despite its beauty, the house had been empty for years, and rumors had circulated about strange noises and ghostly apparitions. One day, I decided to investigate. I parked my car at the end of the driveway and walked up to the front door. It was slightly ajar, and I pushed it open with a creak. The air inside was musty and stale, and I could feel the weight of the silence pressing down on me. I stepped inside and was immediately struck by the grandeur of the place. The walls were lined with ornate wallpaper, and the floors were made of polished wood. But as I walked further into the house, I began to notice something strange. The wallpaper was peeling in places, and the wood was rotting away. And then I heard it, a faint whisper, coming from somewhere deep within the house. I followed the sound, my heart pounding in my chest. It led me to a room at the end of a long hallway. The door was closed, but I could hear something moving inside. I pushed the door open, and what I saw made my blood run cold. There was a figure standing in the center of the room, its back to me. It was dressed in a long, flowing gown, and its hair was wild and unkempt. But what really terrified me was the fact that it was hovering several feet off the ground. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. The figure turned around, and I saw its face for the first time. It was twisted and contorted, with eyes that glowed like embers. And then it spoke, in a voice that sounded like it was coming from the depths of hell. "Get out," it said. "This house is mine." I turned and ran, my heart pounding in my chest. I could hear the figure following me, its footsteps echoing through the empty halls. I burst through the front door and ran to my car, fumbling with the keys. When I finally got the engine started, I looked up and saw the figure standing in the doorway, watching me. I drove away as fast as I could, my mind reeling. I knew that I had stumbled upon something truly terrifying, something that I could never explain, and I knew that I would never be the same again. The house was old and decrepit, with peeling paint and broken windows. I had heard stories about it since I was a child, tales of ghosts and ghouls that haunted its halls, but I never believed them until now. I was driving home from work one night when I saw the house. It was dark and foreboding, looming over the road like a giant monster. I felt drawn to it, as if some unseen force was pulling me towards it. I parked my car and walked up to the front door. It creaked open, and I stepped inside. The air was musty and stale, and I could feel the weight of the past bearing down on me. Suddenly, I heard a sound. It was faint at first, but it grew louder and louder until it was a deafening roar. I looked around, but I couldn't see anything, and then I felt it, a cold breath on the back of my neck. I turned around, but there was no one there, and then I saw it, a figure, standing in the shadows. It was tall and thin, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce my soul. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear, trapped in the grip of the unknown. And then I heard it, a voice, whispering in my ear. "Get out," it said. "Get out while you still can." I tried to scream, but no sound came out. And then I felt it again, the cold breath on the back of my neck. And then I knew. I was not alone in the house. I ran, stumbling through the darkness. I could hear the figure behind me, its footsteps echoing through the halls. And then I saw it, a door at the end of the hallway. I ran towards it, my heart pounding in my chest. I burst through the door, and I was outside. The night air was cool and refreshing, and I could feel the weight of the past lifting from my shoulders. I looked back at the house, but it was gone, disappeared into the night like a ghost. And then I knew. I had been lucky to escape with my life, but I would never forget the terror of that night, the fear that had gripped me in its icy embrace. And I knew that I would never be the same again.